Everyone is trying to drill into the minds of people. At the end of the day, it is sustainability only to survive the competitive world.
The insights that you have shared about not just technologies but also the human side.
Last year, we got an award, a national award, as one of the best young angels. And
Three jobs that are obsolete in today's day and age because of coming of age of AI.
130 people only in talent acquisition 2 years back. Today, I think it's about 25, thanks to AI.
What are the three aspects that you give the most priority in hiring a C-suite leader?
Hi everyone, I'm Mohsinaa Ahmad. Welcome to Boss Talks, where transformative conversations meet actionable insights. In each episode, we have conversations on the intersection of modern leadership, exploring how spirituality shapes decision making, how sustainability drives innovation, how technology transforms business, and how emotional intelligence powers lasting success. Today we have with us Mr. Shantanu Dash, an exceptional HR leader recognized among the top 100 HR professionals in UAE and the global 200 power leaders in UAE. Shantanu has transformed organizations across multiple continents and industries, from established multinationals to innovative startups. His expertise in driving high performance culture, organizational effectiveness, and digital HR transformation makes him a true pioneer in the field of HR. As a self-described digital HR leader, Mr. Shantanu collaborates directly with C-suite executives to align employee strategies with organizational priorities. His comprehensive approach encompasses talent acquisition, performance management, succession planning, and change management, all delivered with remarkable emotional intelligence and cultural sensitivity. What sets Shantanu apart is his ability to navigate ambiguity while maintaining a clear vision for organizational development. His work in policy formulation, balanced scorecard implementation, and HR shared services has created lasting impact throughout his career. Beyond his professional achievements, Shantanu is an acclaimed mentor and champion for diversity, equity, and inclusion. He is also known for his expertise in creating ATS and AI robust resumes, helping professionals navigate today's complex job market. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Shantanu Dash, a true transformative leader in the world of human resources. Hi Shantanu, welcome to Boss Talks. How are you doing today?
Thank you. Thank you for having me in your show, in your podcast. And thank you for the very kind words. Felt good to hear about myself. So,
That's all your achievement, Shantanu.
So Shantanu, you have been recognized many a times, including a top 200 global HR leaders and one of the top 100 HR leaders in the UAE. Looking back, what do you think helped you to get there?
see, the fundamental for any principle or any function in an organization is that one needs to understand the business. All right, especially for functions like finance or HR or IT, we guys can work across industries. So in my case, I worked in manufacturing, I worked in IT, ITES, oil and gas, real estate, construction, nanotechnology. I mean, I don't think, except for medical side, I think I've worked more or less directly or indirectly with most of these industries, including education for that matter. So the nature of business being different, first and foremost is understand the business. And based on that, you need to marry your own strategic thinking with the mission and the vision of the company. And when I say off late, let's say in the last decade or so, technology it's growing like crazy. It's evolving like crazy here. So you need to keep yourself technologically updated. And as far as HR is concerned, one needs to have exceptional interpersonal and communication skills. And integrity, of course, is something which cannot be compromised at all. So all of this taken together, coupled with, I've been fortunate that I've I have had very good leaders under whom I've worked who mentored me. You will be surprised to know way back in 1998, I was hired by a company called Nucleus Software. That was the time when Y2K was at its peak, from the mainframes, the AS400s to ES9000, people were to migrate to Windows. And I had just seen a computer. I had not operated a computer. And reasons best known to the promoters, Nucleus Software is a big company today in India, into the banking side and BFSI side. They hired me as an HR manager. So that was a stroke of luck, or I do not know. And then something else happens in mid of 2007, and I am approached by Shoba Realty for a job in Dubai. They were entering Dubai at that time. And when I met the then managing director, I said, sir, real estate, construction, contracting, plumbers. I know a plumber or an electrician when something goes wrong in my house. A steel fixer, we were talking about things. He said, no, we want someone like you, someone who's got that zeal and can pick up. And today I can proudly say that within the Middle East, real estate and construction is like, and I think in my field, I'm one of the strongest. With all humility, I can say that. And of course, it was handholding by the chairman himself. So, you were not from that area, but then suddenly you come into that business. So you understand the business and then you understand the roles. And I must have recruited more than 30,000 people in the last 15, 17 years within this industry in the UAE itself.
So please, Shantanu, tell me one thing. You are, directly dealing with C-suites, and you are also in that area of recruiting strategists and leaders for organizations. So what do you see when you go ahead and you speak to somebody for organizations? So what do you see when you go ahead and you speak to somebody for that position? Because it's a thought leadership position, it has much more than just the technical field that you're looking at. You're also looking at the emotional intelligence of the person, how long the retainability of the person. Okay, so what are the three aspects that you give the most priority in hiring a C-suite leader?
It's better to keep things very simple. That's what I have been doing. There's so many leaders much, much better than me in my field who use jargons, etc. One is transparency of the person. Two, of course, his background, whether he's handled a P&L role, irrespective of the industry. And three is his motivation and capability to lead a team. That's all.
All right.
These are just the simple basics. A person who's been there and is at a threshold of entering the next stage or is already there. So I would simply look at the integrity aspect, which of course covers your emotional intelligence, the ability to, mentor, how do they manage. So instead of going in for various kind of tests and this and that, no, just keep it simple. The financial side, the how to manage the P&L and stuff like that, that is someone else who will test or judge that. But as far as I'm concerned, it's just the simple person that I'm looking at.
So you're looking at the human side of that person.
Yeah, and including the business acumen, of course.
Of course. Okay. So here I would like to ask you, during tough times in business, how do you keep employees motivated and engaged? And basically, I'm sure you have seen the COVID phase as well, or the mergers and acquisitions that has happened. How do you maintain the emotional balance and mindset balance and keep them together?
See, COVID taught many of us many things. But prior to COVID, when I used to work in India, I have seen, in earlier days in India, you had, especially in the factories, you had trade unions. So every second day, some union or the other would raise a demand and there would be a kind of a strike.
Right.
Or a threat of a strike. And I remember my first job, I used to work for a automobile tires manufacturing company, and which had 8,000 blue collared, 7 unions. And in the border of West Bengal and Orissa, which was the hub for trade union industrial relation issues after Mumbai, where the erstwhile Datta Samant used to be the big leader. This side of the country, it used to be Somnath Kundu. Those were also tough times from the management perspective. And I was a kid, I was 25, 26. My first job, and I don't know, and being a native Odia, having never lived in the state, I did not speak the local language. Neither could I read or write. But then again, during the campus, they liked me. They picked me up probably because I was an Odia. But they didn't ask me whether you speak or not because it was assumed Odia, he's an Odia, he'll speak Odia, right? But handling the unions, because it's going to affect the productivity, that was one side. COVID was like everything was, you never knew what's going to happen, right? And then I used to work for Union Properties at that time, a big diversified group into multiple businesses. They are also into asset management. They are into manufacturing. They are into cold stores and warehousing. They are master developers themselves. I had a strong team, and we were literally working 24/7. Imagine 8 to 10,000 people of 80 different nationalities. Just imagine. 80 different nationalities. And you would know while talking to an Arabic, for example, a Sudanese vis-a-vis an Egyptian, vis-a-vis a Lebanese, they are supposedly Arabics or they are Arabics. But the style of communication, the choice of words is totally different.
The dialect is different.
Because you not only the dialect, the approach, the cultural differences between that. So we maintained a simple thing of being transparent. Do not lie, do not assure of something that you are not aware of. Work was not there, salaries were getting affected because revenues were not coming. One thing was clear, and thanks to the board at that time, I used to report to the chairman and the board. They said, we will not fire anyone. Okay. Then you come out with innovative thinking, salary cuts, delays, deferred payments. Who needs more? Mohsinaa is in more trouble than Shantanu, right? Or someone's parent is in a critical situation, so he or she needs money. So I was actually in touch with each one of them on a daily basis, 24/7. My team, they used to hate me, I know. They used to curse me, middle of the night, 1 a.m., why is he calling? Because I would get a call from somewhere. So, and then of course, one had to be emphatic, adaptable. You had to be adaptable.
Yes.
Then you have your own personal crisis. In my own case, I was suffering from COVID because of the exposure. I had to go out. So, but still, you had to forget that you're suffering from COVID and the pain. And I don't know if you've gone through that, but I have gone through, oh my God, one of the worst phases in life when you can't even, and you can't even breathe properly. And the communication had to be excessive. Now you cannot have emails. Everyone doesn't have emails. Everyone doesn't have laptops at home. So because in normal business, you don't give access laptops to everyone. So the IT guys had to step in. You had blue-collared guys, a lot of blue-collared guys, because Union Property owns a company called Serviu, which is into facility management. So we had 4,000 or 5,000 workers there. They were having their issues, Indians, Pakistanis, Bangladeshis, Africans from Kenya, from Ghana, Uganda. Like anyone, my number was circulated everywhere. It's kind of an open door policy. Anyone, even if I don't understand the language, just call and someone will speak to you in your language.
Right.
So and you can't do it alone. And of course, you have to have your top leadership. So if we were the top leadership, let's say the senior leadership, the backing was required. And simple thing was that be transparent, do not lie, do not give false hopes, be emphatic and adaptable. That's what we did.
So, Shantanu, you have worked in large organizations and with diverse nationalities, like you have mentioned. So, 3 things that you need to follow or the team needs to follow in terms of human resources to make the team feel more inclusive, all of them, irrespective of where they are coming from, and creating that bonding of probably peace amongst them.
One is inculcate the belief in the organization. The boss is tough. Look at the CEO. He doesn't smile. Look at that CFO. every time grumbling. You will hear all of this. And, and for interesting thing is, people in my function, and I like gel as if milk with water at any level. I can have a tea on the footpath with a housekeeping guy, and I can have the same tea in Burj Khalifa with one of the top leaders of the world with the same interest and sale. So that's my personality. That's a trait that I have. Culture of trust, and you need to lead that with that, being the HR leader of the company. Culture of trust, be transparent, communication has to be strong, and always be a mentor and hold hands. Do not shy away. Within your team, you have various levels of competencies. So do not shy away to, okay, fine, Mohsinaa, just move aside. Let me sit on your seat and I'll tell you how to be done. So these are things which help in the bonding. Outside the office space is okay, you do your parties and stuff like that. But within the four walls of the organization, it's culture of, you have to build that culture of trust. Otherwise, it doesn't work. And of course, you need to lead yourself as an example. Same parameters actually apply for the CEO or the MD of the organization. He has to build, he is the one who actually has it, it trickles down. And at the same time, you have your peers, you have the head of procurement, you have the head of finance, you have head of marketing, and you know who's who. They don't know each other in terms of the background. I know each one of them because I've read their files. I know their pluses, I know their minuses. So as much as possible, involve each of them in any critical decision making or even at the time of crisis. Yeah, I cannot do alone. And that's even during COVID. Even if these guys didn't like it, they had no choice because they got the instructions through the top because I wanted them also and their people also. You couldn't have fought that. You know how it was in Dubai. Although we were lucky, it was much better than what it was in other parts of the world. But still.
So in today's world, and basically in all the metros or all the top cities and organizations, how much the focus is there on sustainability by organizations, and how long do they have to go forward?
See, it's one has to be resilient. The second is the budget, how much you can spend. You see, if you see, a lot of companies are doing a lot of CSR activities, even in Dubai. The reason being, everyone is trying to drill into the minds of people. At the end of the day, it is sustainability only to survive in the competitive world. And if I may say what's happening currently today in the US, you never know how the world dynamics is going to change, how organizations are going to survive. 90% of tariffs or 125% for China, suddenly 90 days of relief. So where do the exporters go? So and all those companies have people like you and me working there. So there's a lot of emphasis and effort which is there. And now quite a few organizations who have deeper pockets have actually started having a separate department of sustainability. Because it's important. The reason being that the challenges are going to increase more and more. So that's what is my take.
So Shantanu, please tell me, with AI coming in full-fledgedly now, everybody is comfortable with AI and everybody is taking probably courses or doing their own due diligence in terms of learning AI. 3 jobs that are obsolete in today's day and age because of the coming of age of AI.
Big reputed company in Dubai, 130 people only in talent acquisition 2 years back. Today, I think it's about 25. Thanks to ATS, thanks to AI, probably EAs, executive assistants.
Right.
Okay, I might want a smart-looking woman there to be in my meetings and all, but utility is not there. Probably coordinators. Talent acquisition, sure, because I have live example. I myself know, although I'm not a very big fan of AI in recruitment. But what else? Otherwise, there are certain positions which the AI cannot replace.
So tell me 3 job prospects that has come in as a new job prospects because of AI coming in.
I think it'll be more on, they're calling it project manager. Companies wanting project managers for implementing AI with specialized knowledge. So a project manager for HR to implement the HR AI or finance to do the taxation part of it. So I think that's, one area I can think of. As I said, I'm not a very big fan of AI.
Please tell us the reasons why you are not a big fan of
No,
AI.
I implement, okay,
Mhm.
I myself use, okay, but let's say when it comes to recruitment, a human brain or human mind is not developing as fast as AI is developing, all right?
So true.
But having said that, I have been a recruiter, okay?
Mhm.
And there was a time when I was recruiting in hundreds.
Mhm.
And one would advertise, let's say in LinkedIn or any of these platforms,
Mhm.
and you would get tons and tons and tons of CVs, and you had to read all of them.
Mhm.
You had to read all of them, good, bad, ugly. So AI helps you in filtering that.
Mhm.
My office was in Shobha Sapphire in Business Bay.
Mhm.
My house was about 20 minutes of drive.
Mhm.
I had a company provided driver. I would sit in the back seat. My recruiter would put a pile of CVs
Mhm.
on the back seat. In that 20 minutes, I would read probably 200 CVs.
Mhm. Wow.
So whatever is good goes to the front one, whatever is bad goes down, you know. So AI helps me in that.
Mhm.
But at the same time, it's not foolproof. Today, having been on the other side of the table where I have worked with software companies to design my RAI, I call it RAI Recruitment Artificial Intelligence. Okay. I know what to beat the system. If that's why in my introduction you said, yes, I design resumes of people which goes through the ATS and goes through the AI and reaches human intervention.
Mhm.
As I speak, I'm actually writing a CV for a neurologist who's based in Egypt, and I'm not a doctor,
Mhm.
right? But at the end of the day, that human touch is not there. You know, the process gets embedded. But again, I had said earlier, resilience is something which is required. Unless I read about you, how will I know? You approached me because you read about me somewhere,
Yes.
maybe in LinkedIn or wherever, right? Similarly, before I said, okay, I did my bit of due diligence, and that was my brain, right? Okay. And especially when it are important positions. Okay, run-of-the-mill roles, AI fine, bulk hiring, AI very good, helps a lot. But when it comes to niche positions, I will never use AI. Head of marketing, CFO, CEO, okay, and not only CXO levels, even where let's say procurement, a finance manager, a supply chain guy, where you have to focus not only on the skills or the integrity, but also on each word in the CV has to be literally read. Everyone doesn't write. When you write your CV, problem is you actually become emotional because you're writing about yourself, and that's where AI doesn't understand that this is made with emotions. 99.9% of the people who write their own CVs, make their own CVs, they do it because with emotion,
Mhm.
leaving aside the practical because it's a tool which has to sell yourself, to sell you in the market, correct? So I think it's still a while before it ultimately reaches a level where I would say, wow. And then the total talent acquisition side would be out of the window. And I don't think do you think any company will hire a CEO using an AI? I don't think. No company in the world will do it.
Or will take that risk.
Will take that risk. Why?
Yeah.
Right? The headhunters still will be there. The networking still will be there. Meeting people in golf courses or over a cocktail will still be there.
Mhm.
But bulk hiring, yes. I mean, I worked for Azizi and I was hiring 300 people a week. 300 people a week. Imagine sales. Oh my God. I'm hiring 300, they're firing 150. I'm hiring 300, they're firing 200. It was like, oh my God, where have I gone? I've gone mad. So, yes, in that kind of a scenario, AI definitely is required. So, to hire 300, one had to interview about 1,000 people within a small city of Dubai, or let's say a broader country of there AI will help. But when it comes to niche roles, I don't think it's still there. But then it's a fad, you know. Oh, like I'm working for a company in a big position and my across corporate talks and seminars and all that. Oh, we've got this. It's more of a fad. I don't think it's a necessity yet.
So, Shantanu, your words come with a lot of experience and a lot of wisdom,
Thank you.
of course. Okay. So, can you tell me that what is that one thing or your rituals that keeps you balanced because you're dealing with people and people mean emotions. It also can create stress. It can create a lot. You're dealing with multiple people, different diversities, okay? And they come with their own emotions and emotional baggage. So how do you
Yes, you said
maintain
diversity is in. I've handled. You will be surprised. I have handled at one point of time. I have handled people from 118 countries. Just imagine countries that you and I had not heard of,
even visited? Yeah, heard of.
even not heard of. Where there's a country called Laos, population of about 100,000, but it's a
Mhm.
country. They have their own passport. So I think it's somewhere border of Thailand and Vietnam.
Right.
And answering your question, I think my wife would answer that better than me, actually.
So having a good spouse.
Yes, definitely, definitely, because the stress levels, you need a strong to support you, and of course, I am regularly into meditation. I do that every day since 25, 30 years now.
Mhm.
I am a regular, I go to the gym on a regular basis. These days, 3 times a week. Otherwise, earlier it used to be not to have those six packs and all that, but just, if nothing else, run on the treadmill for about 15, 20 minutes. So
Yeah.
it's a combination of factors. And then, of course, music is there, and occasional, at times, whenever you get a break from the bosses,
Mhm.
then go unwind somewhere, leave your laptops, your mobile phones, everything. And I think the biggest enemy today to keep us distracted is also the mobile phone, the WhatsApps, and the Instagrams. So except for LinkedIn, I'm now on no other social media platform now.
So, Shantanu, please talk about the NGO that you're running in Delhi. What is the nature of it? Who is it helping? And what are your future plans with your NGO?
I run an NGO in Delhi, which probably you missed out in reading. We've got about 700 girl children from the slums whom we are educating. The government of Delhi has a rule wherein 1% to 2% of the students in each class has to be from EWS, economically weaker sections.
Mhm.
So if it's a GD going car where your kid is studying, he comes in a Mercedes,
Yes.
right? So what we do is after school hours, we use the school facility and to give tuitions to these kids through teachers that we hire on our roll, so that it at least the academic gap, because you can get a tutor for the best of tutors in the city. But where will these kids go? Well, the mother is a maid. She goes to different houses, cleaning utensils or cooking or whatever. Father is a rickshaw puller. So that's one we do. The second part we do is for girls who are entering puberty, are about to enter puberty. We have tie-up with Fortis in Delhi, and so we do workshops for these girls, again from the slums.
Mhm.
That what's going to happen, what's coming up, because the mothers do not know. They don't even know how old their kids are. I'm telling you, especially these
Yeah.
migrant workers.
Yes.
Third thing that we are doing is that these women who are knocking on the door of menopause,
Mhm.
so the dangers of cervical cancer. So we've tied up with the Rajiv Gandhi Cancer Institute in Delhi, and literally we have to pull these women, and bus load of them goes there on the designated day, do the pap smears, do the mammography, you know.
Mhm.
So money is coming from the corporates. So that keeps
Amazing work.
that's
Amazing work.
it's me and my younger sister busy. Last year we got an award, a national award, as one of the best NGOs, young NGOs, and so that's something. And I am doing mentoring
Mhm.
for people free of cost, the aspirants, and for people who can pay,
Mhm.
I'm charging them a fee on a hourly basis. That's
Mhm.
also I'm doing. So it's keeping me happy. I take, uh, again, let's say, there's something which is interesting is you are one of the big five, okay? Or you're a big organization and you've got a big project.
Mhm.
You don't have the capability to do all the modules. You picked up that for about, let's say, $1,500 an hour. You outsource to people like me for $500-600 an hour. So I do the work, you get the name. Okay, fine. I get my money, you get your money. That's how the world is changing.
Great.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me here, and let's hope, and I wish you all the best.
All right. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for joining in.
Thank you. Likewise.
you.